Welcome to another episode of Marketing for Your Boring Business, helping your message get seen in a cluttered newsfeed. Today we have I'm just so excited. There are no words for who I have on the podcast today. Today I'm talking with Kat Garst. She's with the Content Planner and the Salty Pineapple Shop. She's also a traveling content creator, freelance graphic designer, and self-professioned Instagram addict. Back in 2012, she quit her unfulfilling desk job and took the leap of faith into becoming a #girl boss. It was the best decision that she ever made, but now she has the super awesome luxury of living 100% remotely and calling the world her office. She lives for traveling the world, the most beautiful beaches, and creating content for her favorite brands. Last year, though, she launched the Content Planner. It's the very first physical planner for your blog and social media content. And if you have spent any amount of time on my social media feed or talking with me, I probably have talked about this product because I love it. And you guys know that I'm a huge, huge fan of content planning, and she helps me and all-in-one stay organized. So, Kat, I am so excited to have you on the show today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Desiree. And also thank you to you for supporting the Content Planner in its first year.
Yes, I'm so excited about the new one that's coming out. Last year's was pink. This new one is teal. It has a lot of great functions and stuff like that. I will include a link to where all of you guys can go get your own in our show notes, but thecontentplanner.com is the best place to start, and you guys will not be disappointed. So today we're actually talking with Kat about 4 simple strategies for planning your holiday content. So why don't you give us a little bit of background about you, Kat, if you have anything more to add, or just dive in.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great intro already. I was like, wow, I did all of those things. So yeah, I'm born and raised in Toronto, Canada, and I'm by trade a graphic designer. So I went to school for graphic and web design, and then I worked a corporate job for about 3.5 years, and then kind of had my aha moment and decided, you know what, this isn't for me. My skills aren't being utilized, and I know I have such a greater purpose. And so I planned for 1.5 years and saved like a bunch of money, because at the time I had a mortgage and I had a house to pay for and a car and bills and all of that lovely stuff. And then in October 2012 was day 1 of Salty Pineapple, and that's when I started to pursue my dream and create that life that I had always wanted to live. And it's been a roller coaster ride since then. So it's been 5 years of completely being on my own. And then because I can, live from my laptop and just essentially work from the internet, I realized that I could travel wherever I wanted, and also whenever, wherever in the world. And that's when I realized too that I love the beach so much, and it provides a lot of creative inspiration for me. And I'm actually flying out to Maui on Wednesday, and it's a real blessing that I get to do what I get to do because I've worked so hard.
Yes, and that's a great testament to all of us. I know we all have personal goals within our personal and professional lives, and so getting to live those is just the ultimate goal for all of us, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it took a really long time. I don't want to fabricate it at all. Like, I worked every day for about 3 years. It wasn't always like this. And I just always want to make it clear for people that it just takes time. You can't ever give up. You have to put one foot in front of the other, and then eventually your goals will come true. It's just a matter of time. I think a lot of people forget that it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, that's always hard. It's a good perspective to have.
Yeah.
So let's dive into our 4 simple strategies. Let's start. What's number 1? Like, where do we get started?
Yeah. So first of all, content planning is one of my most cherished just activities, because it not only makes you money, but it can be fun, and it can also offer you a way to get peace of mind for your business, and especially around the holidays when it can already be a really stressful time. Having your content already scheduled and figured out and written down is really valuable for your business. And even with having an online business, it's so crucial to have your content on Instagram or Facebook, on Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, wherever, on YouTube, and to have it be strategic and to kind of guide your customers in a way where they're purchasing your product and spending money with you. So my first tip for planning your holiday content is to start now. So it's September, and my tip is to start planning your holiday content around this time, because Black Friday is coming, and that's pretty much the biggest online shopping weekend of the entire year. Even last year with the content planner, I think the numbers were, we did around 10 times the sales we would normally do on an average day in just one weekend. So you can't really afford to miss out on Black Friday and that entire weekend, and especially Cyber Monday. So my tips for that are write it down in a calendar. So if you have the content planner, obviously that's the best thing to have, but you can use any daily planner, monthly planner, like digital online calendar, whatever you feel the most comfortable with, but write down your plan in September for your content. Be specific and include the social media platform, your post date and time, what the caption is going to be, your call to action, and also a description of your image along with the hashtag group you're going to use. So being specific is very important, because you don't just want to write down, okay, on November 20th, post to Instagram. You need to have a very specific idea for what your strategy is. Next is gather all of your images ahead of time and shoot what you need to and have it ready to go. So right now, I have the content planner and I'm getting ready to launch it, but I'm shooting content now for November and December and January, because you want to give yourself enough time for creating and not give yourself too much pressure, because once you rush things, it becomes all a blur, and then you kind of lose focus and lose sight and you get stressed. So planning ahead is always best. And what I do is I keep a folder just on my Dropbox or on my computer, and I just keep on filling it with images as I go. So if I shoot 10 this week, I'll add that to the folder, and then next week if I shoot a couple more. And you can also repost images if you're not a content creator or photographer. You can screenshot, and then I have a folder on my phone called To Post, and that's where I gather all of my images for the library that I'm going to be using for Instagram or for Pinterest or whatever. So that's my first tip.
Awesome. Now, for things like you're talking about planning out your content, your visuals, and things like that. Do you think it's also important to plan out like your lives, your in the moments? Like, what about things that you can't necessarily plan, things that just pop up? What are your thoughts on including that in your plan?
You mean like your Instagram lives and Facebook lives?
Yeah, those kinds of things. Like maybe like something happens.
Or your stories?
Yeah, something that happens in the moment, and you're just kind of like, oh, this would be a great post. Do you think that it's important to just record it for later, or do you think that because you've planned everything out, we want to be able to have those in the moment posts as well?
Yeah, of course. I think you make a good point in terms of flexibility. Just because you have a plan doesn't mean you have to be rigid and stick to it exactly. Having a plan is more of a framework and to keep you focused on your goals. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I totally think if something happens in the moment, then for sure post it on Instagram or post it to your live or do Instagram stories. This is just for if you're really busy and you need to plan ahead of time. It's really important to do that first, and then if you feel like you want to post something to your stories or do a live or broadcast to your followers, then go right ahead, especially in the moment, because it's only 24 hours that it stays on your feed.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so next, number 2, what do we have?
Yes, so number 2 is to write about your ideal customer. So now that you've kind of have your content and your images ready, you have to think about the language and the tone and how you're going to connect with your customers. So writing about your ideal customer is the most effective way to target your audience and really attract the people who are going to want to support your brand and purchase your products or sign up for your web courses or subscribe to your email lists. And basically what this means is people are interested about themselves. They don't really want to hear about you, and they don't really want to hear about your life. They want to hear about their lives from your perspective, and they would rather read about themselves than you. So speaking directly to people is the best way to do this. And what I suggest, and it's probably the easiest change, is instead of, if you write a caption and let's say you're talking about something that happened to you, instead of using like I or my or mine, switch it over to you and yours and like theirs. So you're talking directly to your audience instead of speaking about yourself. And I know that, I mean, I'm on Instagram all the time, and I know a lot of people are guilty of this, but if you have a business Instagram account and you have a brand online, you have to really speak to your customers and not necessarily speak about yourself. So talk about their goals and their beliefs, like talk about their struggles and how your product will solve them, and also how they will benefit from your product. You really need to make your captions and your words results driven. So if I were to, purchase the content planner, how would that benefit my organization, or how would that reduce my stress, or how would that allow me to spend more time doing the things that I love, things like that. And yeah, so replacing the words you and mine with, or no, I and mine, sorry, with you and yours is a really easy trick that I do.
That's actually a really great trick.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestions for helping people with maybe any special tips for making sure they are working through who their ideal customer is?
Yeah, what I do is I come up with a customer profile ahead of time. So customer profile is the age, the gender, what their hobbies are, what they're interested in, what brands they buy, who they wear, who they support, what Instagram profiles that they follow. And usually my ideal customer turns out to be me, because I've designed products that I love and that are made for my passion. Which makes it a little bit easier for me. But let's say you have a brand that you're not necessarily building or that you weren't a part of. If you can just pinpoint who your ideal customer is, just one person, not like a whole group of people. But for example, like for the content planner, I named my ideal customer Felicia, and I gave her a name. And I kind of know exactly what she thinks and what she likes. And I always think, would Felicia like this? And that really helps me stay on point with all of my content and even the tone of my captions.
Do you think that we should update that ideal client for like what they're dealing with through the holidays?
Yeah, absolutely. The more specific, the better. So let's say you have your ideal customer profile, but you want to target them for the holidays. You might want to think about, how are they feeling now that the holidays are coming, or who are they shopping for? What would be on their holiday shopping list? How are they buying gifts? Just to be more specific would be a lot more helpful in attracting those types of people.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so just to recap, the first one is start planning your holiday content is September, which is now. It's September. Right now we're broadcasting.
If you're listening to this later, if you're listening to this later, you need to basically start planning immediately.
Yeah, start planning immediately. You want to give yourself as much room as possible and as much time. You can still do it in October, no pressure. But you don't want to be doing it like the day before or the week before. You want to give yourself as much time, because you honestly cannot afford to miss out on Black Friday and all of the holiday shopping that's going on and all the spending that's happening. So first is start planning ASAP for your holiday content. And second is write about your ideal customer. So when you're doing your captions, really think about how you can speak directly to who would buy your product. The third is post twice every day on social media. And for me, my most favorite platform is Instagram, but this can also apply to Facebook or Twitter. Pinterest, you kind of want to post a little bit more than twice every day, but I'm thinking that you might have multiple social platforms. So for me, I have more than one social platform that I use for my businesses, but twice every day is enough for me, and that's pretty much all I can manage. I'm only one person. And why I say twice every day is you can post once in the morning and then post once at night. And this way you're hitting kind of all the time zones. You don't just want to post twice in the middle of the day because you never know. I mean, Desiree, you're in Korea right now and I'm in Toronto. So we have very, very different time zones, but we are very interested in the same products. So you want to be hitting, well, not hitting, but you want to be targeting your clients when they wake up, when they go to sleep, when they're at lunch, just all throughout the day. So posting once in the morning and once at night is the most ideal time that I found. And this ensures that you're constantly in front of the eyes of the people who want to buy your products. And they need to, I don't know if you knew this, but people actually need to see your brand at least 7 times before they even think about engaging with your products and with you. So if you want them to even buy your products, 7 times is the absolute minimum that they need to see pictures and to hear from you and to like your posts and to engage with your Facebook Lives and all of that. It needs to happen at least 7 times for them to even think about buying your product, which I thought was really eye-opening because you're like, oh, I'm just going to post this one Instagram post and maybe they'll buy my product, but that's not actually how it works. They need to see your brand at least 7 times.
Wow. That's actually really interesting. So I'm curious just to play devil's advocate with you on this posting twice a day. You know, so many marketing professionals and, you know, gurus and all that kind of stuff. Everyone has their own reasons or algorithms or statistics as to why you should only post maybe once a day or like 3 or 4 times a week, and sort of that idea of quality over quantity and stuff. What are your thoughts on that based on what you just said?
Again, this is kind of what I've learned from being on Instagram for the past 3 years and, you know, talking to friends and people that I've met on Instagram who are also influencers. And we kind of, we're this community where we like to talk about what works and what doesn't, because there's no guide to Instagram. There's no how to Instagram. It's all based on like what happens and what you put out there and what kind of results you get. So talking about it openly, this is what I've learned is the ideal posting schedule for brands. Because first of all, you can't afford to not post every day and be consistent with your social media. That's just a given. So if you think that you can take a break or that you should just ghost from Instagram for a couple of days, you're actually hurting your brand. And now with the algorithm and the way that it works in terms of sorting the images in our feed based on what we like, it's not chronological anymore. And this is just for Instagram. But I have this theory, and it's just from talking to other people who are in the same boat as me and who have, you know, successful Instagram accounts. The more that you're on Instagram and engaging with your community and posting and sharing to your live stories and broadcasting live, the more your content is going to get posted to the top of people's feeds. And that's really the only way. There's no quick shortcut or there's no paid service that can increase your engagement. And I really believe in posting twice every day. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could post once, but I don't think that's going to be as effective as it would be if you were to post twice a day.
Okay, so do you think that that works for all social networks? Like, I know you talk a lot about Instagram because I know that because your content's so visual, that's where you have the most success. But do you think that this is also something that could work for, you know, our boring business owners that are our listeners? Don't you know, they're more not. It's kind of a little harder for them to be visual and and you know, obviously having the plans going to be helpful for them and coming up with content and stuff. Do you think that since most of them are on Facebook, do you think that this is a strategy that works for them there too?
I think for Facebook that posting at least, this sounds crazy, but posting at least 4 to 5 times every day is a lot more effective because you're not really posting curated images. Like for Instagram, you're posting photos that you've either taken already on a professional camera or you've really planned out your strategy. But now Facebook has turned into this place where you can post what you're doing at that very time. And even, I mean, Facebook owns Instagram, so the same principle applies. The more that you're on the platform and the more that you're sharing new content and engaging with the people who comment back on your posts, the better. And I think for Facebook, you can actually post more than you can on Instagram. So I would say for Facebook, like I've seen successful like marketers on my feed. I love when they post at least 5 to 10 times a day because I'm so in tune with what they're doing. And it may sound like a lot, so obviously don't overwhelm yourself because it can get really overwhelming, which is why I designed the content planner. But with Facebook, yeah, posting more is better. Same with Pinterest. I think I read somewhere that the number of pins you should be pinning, and this is just repinning content, is between like 11 to 15 pins, not necessarily uploading original pins.
Yeah, I can see that too, that because, you know, people are gonna, I mean, you want to have that constant flow of traffic when it comes to Pinterest and stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
all these are gems,
Yeah.
Kat, gems.
Yes, and we have one last tip left for planning your holiday content. So number 4 is always include a call to action. And what this means is when you post to social media, whatever platform you're posting to, make sure at the end of your caption, you're telling your audience what to do, whether it be click on this link to find out more information, sign up using this link, like this post, comment below, DM me, send me an email. Just give them something to do so that they're not left guessing, okay, what do I do next? You want to assume that, you know, people are dumb, and that sounds kind of harsh, but you want to assume that people are dumb and keep it super simple, so much to the fact that they just do whatever you tell them to do. So if you post your caption, always make sure you include what to do at the end of it, because social media it's an incredibly effective tool for getting in front of your ideal customers, but it is also your job to lead them the rest of the way. So don't make them think. And end your caption, you can either end it with a hyperlink or just telling them what to do, which can be, as I said, like shop the link in our bio, download the latest, sign up for the course, click this to claim your spot, and make it as easy as possible. What I like to do for hyperlinks is shorten them using Bitly, and maybe you have another service that you use, but Bitly not only shortens your link, but you can also add a custom handle at the end of it. So it can be like bit.ly/content planner. And then you can log in and you can track the metrics of your link. So where the traffic is coming from, how many people clicked on the link, and at what time, where they're located, and all of that information. I'm obsessed with numbers, so I enjoy seeing that and just seeing how effective my links are.
Yeah, no, we talk a lot about the importance of planning
Mm-hmm.
on the show as best as we can, but also tracking your metrics is really important.
Yes.
And I think having unique links everywhere that you put them is really important, and that's why you want to make sure that you're watching those analytics to see what's working for you and what's not working for you, what topics are getting the most traffic, so that you can, you know, expand upon them and do more. If you find one sale or promotion isn't doing as well as another, you want to keep doing more like the ones that are successful. So
yeah, you want to be able to know
works,
what that is.
Yeah, right? Marketing works as long as you know what it is that you're doing is working. So
yeah, and if you want to take that a step further, if that Bitly link leads to a customized landing page, I'm not sure if you've ever spoken to your audience about landing pages. Those are super effective in converting people because you're sending them to a page where you already know where they're coming from. You're not just sending them to, you know, your homepage, which is pretty generic. They don't really know what to do from that point on. But if you were to take that next step and really like hit it out of the park, then you would create a custom landing page and then link that from your Bitly.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're just going to have to schedule an interview to get a landing page talk on. So we'll have to make sure we add that.
That's a whole new world.
Yeah, definitely is. All right. So let's just recap here. So we have number 1, start planning your holiday content in September or as soon as possible. You don't want to be caught with your pants down in November and December. Write about your ideal customer, and I like give them a name, like would Felicia do this kind of thing. And
give your customer profile a name, give her an identity. It really helps you visualize and pinpoint what they would like.
Yeah, and I think the best takeaway that came out of this one is replace I, my, and mine with you, your, and your.
Yes.
So that you're talking about them and not about you, because people want to talk about themselves and social media subconsciously over other people.
Yeah, they want to
Number
read about themselves.
Exactly. Especially if,
Yeah.
if you've made the right ideal customer, it's exactly how they should be thinking.
Yeah.
You want to post, number 3, post at least twice every day. And this kind of goes across every social platform. And then number 4, always include a specific call to action. Every post needs to have something that they need to do, whether it's like, comment, click a link to buy, or pick up the phone and make a call to schedule. So always have that specific call to action. And it's like a little bonus in there. Make sure you're tracking where people are, what they're doing, so that you know what marketing things you're doing are most effective.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You've got your work cut out for you, everyone.
Yeah. Y'all get to work. It's time. You're ready now. So,
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today, Kat. How can people find you? Like, what can we do to follow you, and of course get our own content planners?
Yes. So my personal Instagram is @KatGaskin. I'm salty pineapple, #salty pineapple. That's where I post about my adventures and kind of the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur and traveling. And if you like tropical sunsets and colors and pineapples, definitely give that a follow. It's @KatGaskin. And then the Content Planner Instagram is @thecontentplanner. You can check that out, and it's www.thecontentplanner.com. And I also just launched my own shop, which is kind of like my creative playground where I'm allowed to just do whatever I want, and it's completely branded salty pineapple gear, and that's the Salty Pineapple Shop. So the Salty Pineapple Shop, the website is shop.saltypineapple.ca.
As if I didn't need to buy more things from you. I am now going to have to become an advocate for the Salty Pineapple Shop as well.
You never know. My customer profile, her name could be Desiree.
Let's just be real. Your content planner customer, it definitely needs to be named Desiree, because, like I said, this thing rocks my world every month. At the very least.
Wait till you see the next one. I listen to our community, and I listen to everyone's reviews, and I included tons more features and updates for the next one, and it's now actually fillable, so it's ready to start whenever you are. It's not necessarily dated so that you're missing out on months in case you receive it late or you catch the train a little bit late.
I can. That's a huge upgrade, and like I said, I've been following on Instagram stories, like your updates and pictures of what's been going on. And if you all just need to study a really great account that just does really great images and stuff, just follow the Content Planner. Her pictures are so beautiful and well done and so visual. So it's all about telling those stories, those pictures and stuff, as we've talked about in previous podcasts. But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for being on the show, Kat. It was awesome talking to you. I hope that you guys got a lot out of the show and that you're ready to start attacking your holiday content plan. So until next time, I'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.